Okay, folks, so I don't know if you paid attention to Miss Presley, God rest her soul. The jewelry that she had on was some Serpent jewelry. One at her face or at her neck, pointing up to her face. And then she had the tail of the snake wrapped around her wrist. California is getting ready to, and probably the rest of the country, I don't know how far inland this storm is going to come. But the storm, and then there's another storm behind that one, 7:30 in the morning here. It's another storm in the behind that one that is, well, the one that's getting ready to hit them after the one they just got through with. This is major news. The storm itself is bigger than the United States. It's like out of a Hollywood movie. As I said before, every day we are seeing developing stuff. Every day. And this time, with, I guess because she's famous, they didn't call it a medical emergency with Presley. They called it a cardiac arrest. So we ain't even got to play these games. Did they have the Vex? Were they hexed? We already know they were, folks. This is what they're not telling people. But you ought to be smart enough to know by now. They found her non-responsive at the crib. They couldn't bring her back to life. Just like the young man that died on his way to class, in between classes, the college football player. So we ought to start knowing, and that's the thing, we know, okay, because we've been given the Spirit of God to know all these things. But the world is like, okay, we're shook because you've been under a strong delusion that these folks are failing to realize the thing that's happening right now. All of a sudden, this is the part that really blows my mind. All of a sudden, everybody got heart problems. She's 54 years old. She's 4 years older than me. But we got people 30 years younger than me that's still having, all of a sudden, heart issues. So if we wasn't having these heart issues 3 years ago, nobody was having heart problems like this massively all over the news. I seen a video where this guy on Twitter posted up all the excuses that they've been using for the reason why people have been having heart attacks. Climate change, the weather, coffee creamer. They name all this other ridiculous stuff instead of telling the truth. That it's those hexes, those clot shots that they giving folk. As one person called it on video, clot shot. That's what it is. They don't want to admit it, but they are admitting it, because the more goofball lies that you tell and excuses, the more it looks more stupider. It's stupid for me to even say stupider, but it is stupider and stupider. This is getting so stupid that you can't even find the words to describe it. All of a sudden, everybody's having heart issues. I wonder why. America is being judged right now. One has to do with the other one, if you ask me. These storms, this rain, Governor Newsom, his California, getting the slop beat out of it because of all the pedophile paradise laws that they passing over there. So they're getting mollywopped right now. And whether we think these storms look man-made or not, okay, I still would say God is punishing the United States of Babylon, for sure. We see a whole lot of stuff going on in this country that we don't see going on in the other countries. Okay, wicked weather. When we see weather like this, big cyclone storms, hurricane-looking type storms hitting the West Coast, something that ain't never happened in such a long time, but it's popping off now. Judgment. God is angry. Even though he's long-suffering. The Bible says in the Old Testament, he was supremely angry, but long-suffering at the same time. Only God can do that. Even in his wrath, he was still trying to get people right in the Old Testament. That's God, though. Okay? So that's just a little bit of news for this morning, folks. When you look at, and a lot of us have been noticing her jewelry. She got bit by the serpent and died by the serpent. Ain't that something? Ain't that something? And out there for everybody to see. Well, I ain't gonna say everybody to see. I mean, it is for everybody to see, but are everybody's paying attention? No, they ain't paying attention. They ain't paying attention. So keep paying attention, folks. I'll holler at y'all later on. Deuces.